latinoamericanas, quiero dedicar esta canción a mis hermanas latinoamericanas.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's with great honor and immense gratitude that I welcome you in this special occasion today. As we gather here, let us take a moment to reflect in the inspiring word of Gabriela Mistral. I'm going to say it in Spanish first and then in English. El derecho de una mujer es el derecho de la humanidad entera. Or, the right of a woman is the right of whole humanity. Maybe you can correct my translation later. These words serve as a powerful reminder that the fight for women's rights is not only for women, but for the fairer and more just society as a whole. Our government, led by President Gabriel Boric, recognizes the crucial role we must play in protecting and preserving these rights. Keeping this in mind, I would like to address you that our embassy marked two significant milestones in Chile's history and its relationship with the world. Firstly, we celebrate 200 years of bilateral relationship between Chile and the United Kingdom, a shining example of enduring bonds between friendship and mutual respect between our two countries. At the same time, we commemorate the 50th anniversary of the coup d'etat in Chile, a turning point in our country's history that tested our resilience and divided us as a nation. We must approach this moment with humility, acknowledging our country's pain with inclusiveness, honesty, and empathy, so we may emerge stronger and more united. Together, we stand in celebration of the Chilean men and women who made the UK their home and have left a lasting impact on the relationship between our nations. And it is with great pleasure that today, here in London, our Chilean embassy paid tribute to the exceptional Consuelo Rivera Fuentes. Consuelo, a Chilean poet, academic, feminist, political activist, and entrepreneur, arrived in England in 1992 with her son to teach Spanish and women's study in Lancaster University. Her struggles, however, began at an early age, and her dedication to activism and entrepreneurship is unwearying. Before she moved to England, she was dedicated campaigner for human rights and freedom, in which she faced imprisonment and torture. Despite the physical and emotional scar this would have left, she remained strong in her pursuits. Today we celebrate her fearless spirit and her dedication to literacy, activism, entrepreneurship, embodying the true essence of commitment, perseverance in pursuit of human rights and freedom. Through her tireless efforts, Consuelo established the Victoria Press, publishing inspiring books by a diverse range of writers and promoting the concept of bibliodiversity, close to her heart. Consuelo, your journey of reinvention is a testament of your tenacity, perseverance, and awareness spirit. And we are proud to acknowledge the immeasurable impact you have made on many lives. With deep humility and boundless admiration, we present this tribute to you, Consuelo. Your journey has inspired us all, and it is an honor that this embassy has collaborated with you on some of your Victorian Press book lunches.
Victorina.
Victorina. Yes, Victorina. Today we celebrate you with a unwavering commitment to excellence and making a positive impact in the world. You are truly deserving all the recognition and applause that come your way. So thank you, Consuelo, for your fearless spirit, your passion, and your dedication. You are an inspiration to us all.
But here we are. It's been it's fantastic, pleasant honour to be here to introduce this so richly deserved honour. Every now and then, and in fact more often I would say then than now, you come across a human being who inspires immense admiration for their energy, their passion, their courage, their determination, their resilience, their generosity and their unstoppable creativity. And Consuelo Rivera Fuentes is one of those individuals. But I think she's doubly unique because she inspired not only admiration but genuine love and affection for everyone who meets her. And that's quite rare. It's quite easy to admire people who've achieved things, but to love them and to feel affection as well is actually a very rare thing to feel both of those. And think about what she's gone through and then think of what she's achieved. But 50 years ago, after the Pinochet military coup in Chile, she was brutally tortured. She left Chile for the UK in 1992. She became an academic, sociologist, a campaigner for women's rights, gay rights, and a very fine poet and a short story writer as well, by the way. But then she was struck down by illness. Now I don't like using the word struck down for Consuelo because nothing downs Consuelo. It's not the right expression. Quite the contrary. She became even more driven, more creative, more culturally constructive. And in 2017 she founded Victorina Press, not Victoria, Victorina. Let's call the whole thing on.
Yeah, mum's name.
Which has published books of astonishingly high quality. Novels, non-fiction, poetry. I don't want to pick out any specific, well I will pick out one specific example because I have Rihanna Lewis here who wrote the wonderful novel My Beautiful Imperial, and we are collaborating on a film script based on that novel. So, but when I pick that novel out, I don't mean to say that there are not others which are absolutely fabulous as well. There are. And under the auspices of Victorina Press, she also runs the poetry competition, which is welcomes poems of very high quality. I've been proud to act as a judge twice on this prize. You founded the group Las Juanas, made of enormously talented Latin American women writers. And finally, she's one of the directors of the superb annual El Sueño Existe festival, Latin American festival of music, poetry, talk in Machynlleth in Wales. I'll get to be able to pronounce that in the name of that town. How do you say it? Isn't that wonderful? Yeah. Anyway, and Chile is the special. This year's festival on September the 15th to the 17th. Chile is the special theme, as you might expect, for the 50th anniversary. So please come along, as many of you can. It's really a fantastic festival. It's a joy, the atmosphere is great, and the variety of activities, I urge you all to come. And in fact, last year's festival, Consuelo, you took part in one of the most moving sessions in the whole festival, with Maria Pina as well. And you talked about experiences of being tortured, of your suffering under the coup, or after the coup, in the coup, and it was and some of your poems inspired by that. And you've actually written extremely moving about the experiences in this paper, this 2001 paper, which you co-wrote with Linda, with your partner Linda Burke, And it's actually a conversation, it's a written conversation really. And I don't know if I've got time, I'm going to just read a very few extracts from it because they're very moving. Okay. So silence can take many shapes. Silence can be touched, sliced, it can be uncomfortable if it's experienced for too long. It can be used as a break to relax and enjoy the company of oneself, living in one's body. Very often embodies resistance itself. It can be used as a weapon to break someone's spirit in a session of torture. This is part of my story. I'm safe now, away from Chile. For people like myself, there will never be an after torture, because once you've been subjected to physical and psychological torture, pain remains. It gets stuck to your skin, to your bones, to your guts, to your heart, to your memory. I could go on, but I won't, and I don't want to leave, especially don't want to leave the impression that Consuelo is a defeated woman. Absolutely the opposite. Nothing could be further from the truth. She's the bravest of fighters, she's the bravest of survivors. She is a defiant liver of life to the full. And that's why I would like to finish just by reading a poem which really captures you. It's one of your own poems, called Wonder Makers We Are. I just want to read that because she is a wonder maker, or a miracle maker. So I'm just going to read this in English, if you'll forgive me, because I think it actually...
You have some Juanas here?
Well, actually, there are Juanas here. It captures Consuelo in all her glory and all her fighting, combative generosity. So wonder makers we are, travellers of the world, imagined and real we are. We don't care for fatherlands or patriarchs. All those women who feel and live like us inhabit the motherland we create. We are deep thinkers, in love with life. Strong as oak, soft and fresh as a morning breeze in autumn. Creative goddesses we are. Furious and generous as Pachamama, passionate fighters. Cusqueñas and Peruvian Indians, warriors and witches we are. Mapuche, Chilean, ancient and wise. Aztec and Mexican, crazy and wonderful. Rebellious Spanish witches. Chasing chimeras and utopias. Creators of our final destiny. We turn the word to song. We sing in colour or in black and white. We sketch on paper, on our bodies. We paint on walls and mountains. We dance in Castilian and Spanish. We remember in Quechua and Mapudungun. We laugh in Nahuatl and Zapotec. We protest in Euskera and Galician. We murmur in English. We hold memories since immemorial times. Language and dislanguage we are. Waves of women we are. Planetary, terran and terrestrial. Poets and prehistoric painters. Medieval and modern writers and singers of the people and for the people. Wonder makers we are. But thank you, Consuelo. Thank you for being Consuelo, for being a miracle worker and a magic worker. And congratulations on this richly deserved award. And I'll learn to sing Mapudungun. Mapudungun. Anyway, thank you so much. Thank you.
Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, Consuelo. It's a huge honour to be asked to speak here today. I met Consuelo on Monday the 14th of August 2017. We met at the Pullman Hotel, right next to one of my favourite buildings in the world, the British Library. I was looking for a publisher for my novel, and according to one commissioning editor, I was almost certainly destined for disappointment, because in his view, the book was too English for the Welsh and too Welsh for the English. Well, I thought, if neither the Welsh nor the English are interested, then perhaps I'll try the Chileans. It was, after all, a tale about a Welshman, one of my ancestors, who had spent 30 years in Chile and who became involved in the Chilean Civil War of 1891. I had already joined the Anglo-Chilean Society as part of my research, so I contacted them to find out if they knew of any publishing companies that might be interested. There came a reply. Almost immediately, the stars were aligned. A Chilean woman living in the UK had just launched her new publishing company a few weeks earlier. It was called Victorina Press. Perhaps the boss, Consuelo Rivera Fuentes, might be interested. I should definitely contact her. Within days, it seems, I was having coffee at the Pullman Hotel on Euston Road, meeting Consuelo for the very first time. I liked her immediately. Consuelo, do you know what I wrote in my diary that evening? I looked it up. Consuelo is warm and friendly, but no pushover. Very interesting, very determined. No wonder my great-great-uncle liked Chileans. The more I learned about Consuelo, the more I realised this was no ordinary human being. She had an incredible personal history. She had 2 MAs, one in sociology and one in women's studies. Sociology and women's studies and the other in publishing. She also had a PhD in women's studies. And at a stage in life when many people are thinking of splashing out on a new pair of slippers and spending the rest of their lives in front of fire or daytime television, Consuelo was gearing up for her next adventure, realising the ambition of a lifetime and starting a brand new publishing company. We met in August 2017, and by the end of December, Consuelo had already published my book, which, if you know anything about publishing, is phenomenally quick. Everything in publishing moves at a glacial pace, unless you're published by Victorina Press. 3 months later, my beautiful Imperial was listed as a recommended book by the Walter Scott Prize Academy, the foremost competition for historical fiction. I was pleased for the book, obviously, but I was equally delighted for Consuelo that her faith in this unknown writer had been justified, and that the enormous risk she had taken had paid off. They called the book a cracker, and it was placed shoulder to shoulder with books by Booker Prize-winning authors such as John Banville. None of this would have been possible without you, Consuelo. Victorina Press's mission is to publish great books that are also inspirational, while following the principle of bibliodiversity. Diversity is beautiful. Writing can be a lonely occupation, but being published by Victorina Press has meant being part of a family of authors. Since 2017, many other writers have had their successes, thanks to your support. A list of Victorina authors continues to expand, but you have always made yourself available. You have never been too remote to help, even when there have been a million other demands on your time. As some of you will know, Victorina Press was named in honour of Consuelo's mother, and I'm certain that she would be immensely proud of what you've achieved. In preparing for today, I realised that Consuelo was born under the star sign of Leo. Didn't know that. Now it all makes sense. I don't know if you believe in astrology, but it is uncanny how accurate some of these descriptions are. This is what they say about Leos. Fierce, bold, charismatic, confident. They approach situations head-on and are ready for anything. If you're with a group of hesitant people, you take action and lead everyone else through the door. They are passionate, ambitious, creative. They are sunny and big-hearted, charming and funny. No one can resist a Leo. For my part, when I write in my diary, these are the things that sum up this incredible woman for me. Phenomenally determined, fiercely loyal, and hugely supportive. A true inspiration.
Your Excellency, Consuelo,
I am honored that Eduardo sent me this text, as he couldn't be here, as we know. He lives in Southampton. And it's difficult for him to get here. So he says, I would like to join the tribute which the Chilean embassy in the United Kingdom is today offering to Consuelo Rivera, the most prominent of Chilean women in exile. This is a well-deserved tribute for the efforts that Consuelo has made to highlight Chile in various aspects of our culture. Firstly, Consuelo stands out in the field of poetry, testimony of her experience both in Chile and in England. She stands out because of her spirit of fellowship and solidarity with her colleagues, artists, and writers. As editor of anthologies of her colleagues and translator of several publications in this field, she has shown absolute solidarity. Consuelo also stands out, as we all know, for being a formidable defender of women's rights, offering the gender waste, freedom, and autonomy. As a champion of this same-sex marriage campaign, Consuelo has demonstrated this with her own example, choosing one of our friends as her partner. With Linda, Consuelo has managed to form an ideal couple. Those of us who have lived with this couple are witnesses of the incomparable happiness that unites them. The Chilean community in Great Britain applauds this new initiative, which centers on the most outstanding Chileans living abroad. Likewise, the community also recognizes and applauds Consuelo Rivera for the editorial work she has undertaken in Great Britain. This editorial project originated in the university postgraduate degree. It was shared with her partner Linda and has now reached a nationally prestigious publisher, Editorial Victorina, a name that I understand is a tribute to her dear mother. This company now offers collective work to a series of people covering all aspects of the book printing industry, preparation, designers, illustrators, translators, etc., until the complete artistic work, the arts combined with the literary text, arrives at the printing workshops where the product finally comes out, after distribution to bookstores, reaching specialized critics, and the exhibition of the book at various national events. Books from Editorial Victorina have achieved first prizes and special distinction awards. We should also mention the enormous contribution and influence that Consuelo Rivera has had in the creation and continuity of narrative literary workshops from which several critically acclaimed anthologies have emerged. These are my words of praise and congratulations to the Chilean embassy in the United Kingdom and its cultural coordinators, and above all, I extend a hug of congratulations to our dear Consuelo, who, as I have always said in my publications in different platforms, is for us a great example of resistance to adversity. May heaven continue to give you strength.